Welcome to NFL Talk.
Yeah.
If you're looking for some serious analysis of the Chicago Bears offense, you've come to the right place. And let's be honest, who isn't a little worried about them right now?
Definitely cause for concern.
I'm Liam, and with me is Olivia.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack exactly what's going wrong in the Windy City.
Right, because that 29-9 loss to the Cardinals wasn't just a loss, it was a beatdown. We need to figure out if this is just a rookie QB slump or a sign of deeper problems.
Exactly, and it's not just the score.
Right.
The whole offense looks out of sync.
Yeah.
They're averaging less than 295 yards a game, which is pretty dismal. I mean, what happened to all the hype about this revamped offense?
Oh.
New quarterback, new weapons, Shane Waldron calling the plays.
Yeah.
It all looks so promising on paper.
It did, but it's clearly not translating onto the field. The offensive line is a major issue.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams has already been sacked 29 times.
You know, it's crazy.
That's insane, especially this early in the season. He's on pace to break some not-so-great records if things don't change.
And you can't just blame the O-line, right? I'm sure they've been hit hard by injuries, forcing them to rely on backups. But Williams hasn't exactly been lighting it up when he does have time.
Right.
Those deep throws in particular have been way off the mark.
It's all connected. When you're constantly under pressure, you can't step into your throws, your mechanics get messed up and your accuracy suffers. It's like a domino effect. And then there's the running game, or lack thereof.
Right.
They showed some promise earlier in the season, but against Arizona.
Yeah, it was practically non-existent.
It was practically non-existent.
DeAndre Swift had that incredible 56-yard touchdown run against Washington, and we all thought, okay, here we go.
Right.
But they haven't been able to replicate that success.
Right. Consistency is key, and they just haven't found it.
Yeah.
Look, I get that building a strong rushing attack takes time.
Yeah.
Especially with the new offensive coordinator.
Sure.
But the lack of progress is troubling.
And speaking of Waldron, his play calling has been, let's just say it's been questionable.
Yeah.
Head coach Matt Eberflus has expressed confidence in him. But against Arizona, the offense was stagnant.
Yeah.
They only converted 3 of their 14 third down attempts.
It's not just the low conversion rate. It's the lack of creativity. They have Cole Kmet, a seriously talented tight end.
Oh, yeah.
And they barely even looked his way against the Cardinals. He wasn't targeted once.
Wow.
You have to utilize your weapons, and that's just not happening.
You're absolutely right. You can't expect to win games when you're failing to convert on third down and neglecting your playmakers.
Yeah.
Those negative plays, like the sacks and penalties, are absolutely killing their momentum.
Their average yards per play is a dismal 3.4.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's not sustainable. You can't win games like that.
Yeah.
Something needs to change, and fast.
So where do they go from here?
Yeah.
What needs to happen for this offense to turn things around?
First and foremost, they need to protect Williams. He's a rookie, yes. But you can't expect him to develop if he's constantly running for his life.
Easier said than done, right? I mean, even with a healthy O-line, Williams needs to improve his pocket presence and decision-making. He's holding onto the ball too long, and it's costing them dearly.
Absolutely. He needs to learn to trust his reads, get rid of the ball quicker, and maybe even throw it away sometimes instead of taking a sack.
But let's be real. Even if Williams plays perfectly, they're not going anywhere if they can't establish a consistent run game.
Right.
It all starts up front.
Right.
They need to create some push, open up some holes, and let Swift do his thing.
Exactly. And Waldron needs to get more creative with his play calling. He needs to find ways to get Kmet involved, to scheme his receivers open, to create mismatches. There's talent on this offense. It's just not being utilized effectively.
And it's not just about X's and O's.
Right.
It's about execution.
Yeah.
They need to eliminate those negative plays, the pre-snap penalties, the missed assignments. That stuff kills drives.
Right. They need to clean up the mental errors. That comes down to focus and attention to detail.
And let's not forget, this is still a young team.
Right.
Williams is a rookie. They have a new offensive coordinator. They're still figuring things out.
There's definitely a learning curve, but the clock is ticking. They have a tough opponent coming up in the Patriots. This will be a real test.
A test that could make or break their season. If they can protect Williams, establish the run, and call effective plays, they have a chance to win this game. But if they continue making the same mistakes, it's going to be a long season for Bears fans.
It's a make-or-break moment. Let's see if they can rise to the challenge.
It'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Me too. Let's hope they can figure things out.
Well, we've only just scratched the surface of the Bears' offensive woes.
We'll delve deeper into some potential solutions in our next segment. Stay tuned.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.
It's frustrating, right? You see flashes of what this offense could be, like Swift's big run or Komet making a clutch catch. But then it all just disappears.
Yeah, it's like they're missing that killer instinct. That ability to finish drives and put points on the board consistently. They're leaving so many opportunities on the field.
Absolutely. And that's where the coaching comes in. Waldron needs to find ways to scheme his players open, to create mismatches, to exploit weaknesses in the opposing defense. It's not just about having talent, it's about using that talent effectively.
You're right. You can have all the weapons in the world, but if you're not putting them in positions to succeed, it doesn't matter. Look at what Kyle Shanahan does with the 49ers. He takes average players and makes them look like all pros because of his scheme and play calling.
Exactly. It's about creating opportunities, about putting your players in the best possible position to make plays. And that's where I think Waldron is falling short. He's not maximizing the potential of this offense.
And it's not just about the passing game. They need to find a way to establish the run consistently. That will take pressure off Williams, open up the play-action game, and keep the defense honest.
Absolutely. A strong running game is the foundation of any successful offense. It sets the tone, controls the tempo, and wears down the opposing defense. Look at the Eagles, for example. They run the ball effectively, and it opens up everything else for them.
But it's not just about the play calling, right? The players need to execute. They need to win their individual battles, make the catches, break the tackles, protect the quarterback.
Right, there's a lot of blame to go around. The offensive line needs to improve their pass protection. The receivers need to run crisp routes and make tough catches. Williams needs to make quicker decisions and protect the football. It's a collective effort.
And let's not forget the mental aspect of the game. They need to eliminate the pre-snap penalties, the missed assignments, the lack of focus. Those things kill drives and swing momentum.
Absolutely. The mental game is just as important as the physical game. You need to be disciplined, focused, and prepared to execute your assignments flawlessly. You can't afford to beat yourself with mental errors.
So it's a combination of factors. Coaching, execution, mental toughness. They need to improve in all areas if they want to turn this season around.
It's a tall order, but it's not impossible. They have the talent, they just need to put it all together. And they need to do it soon because the margin for error is shrinking with every loss.
The next few weeks are going to be crucial. They have some winnable games coming up, but they need to start showing signs of life on offense. Otherwise, this season could spiral out of control pretty quickly.
It's a pivotal moment for this team. This is where we find out what they're really made of. Can they respond to adversity? Can they make the necessary adjustments? Can they rise to the challenge? We'll find out soon enough.
Well, we've dissected the problems, we've talked about the challenges. Now let's shift gears and explore some potential solutions. What can the Bears do to fix this offensive mess?
Let's start with the offensive line. They're clearly struggling, especially in pass protection. What adjustments can they make? What personnel changes could they consider?
Well, it's clear the offensive line needs some serious help. They've given up way too many sacks, and it's affecting everything. But personnel changes might be tough at this point in the season.
Right. Finding quality offensive linemen mid-season is like searching for a needle in a haystack, so they might have to get creative with scheme adjustments.
Yeah?
Maybe try some max protection schemes, keep a tight end or running back in to help block.
Right.
Or even use some quicker passes to get the ball out of Williams' hands faster.
Those are some good ideas, but they're really only Band-Aids.
Yeah.
It feels like they need to address this issue long-term.
Right.
Maybe prioritize drafting or acquiring some top-tier offensive line talent in the offseason, because without a solid foundation, the rest of the offense just crumbles.
Totally agree. But for now, they need to find ways to make it work with what they have. And honestly, some of the responsibility falls on Williams, too.
Yeah.
He needs to learn to navigate the pocket, better sense the pressure, and make quicker decisions.
It's not all on the offensive line. Williams holds onto the ball too long sometimes, trying to make the big play instead of taking what the defense gives him. He needs to develop that feel for the pocket.
Yeah.
Knowing when to escape, when to throw it away, and when to take the check down.
Exactly. It's about making smart decisions under pressure. And that comes with experience, film study, and working closely with the coaching staff. And speaking of coaching, let's talk about Waldron. His play calling has been, shall we say, inconsistent?
Yeah. It's putting it mildly. There have been flashes of brilliance.
Yeah.
But overall, it just feels disjointed, like he's trying to force a square peg into a round hole. He needs to adapt his system to the strengths of his players, not the other way around.
Right. It's about tailoring your game plan to the talent you have. And to me, it feels like he's not utilizing Cole Kmet nearly enough. Kmet is a big, athletic tight end who can be a real mismatch nightmare for defenses.
Totally. Get him more involved, design some plays to get him open in the middle of the field, use him in the red zone, take advantage of his size and athleticism. He can be a safety valve for Williams and a real difference maker in the passing game.
Absolutely. And while we're on the topic of playmakers, what about getting DeAndre Swift more involved in the passing game? He's a dynamic runner, but he's also a capable receiver out of the backfield.
I love that idea. Use him on screens, swing passes, wheel routes, get him the ball in space, and let him use his speed and agility to make defenders miss. It would add another dimension to their offense and keep defenses guessing.
Right. It's about being unpredictable and creating mismatches. It's about keeping the defense on their toes and forcing them to adjust. And most importantly, it's about putting your players in positions where they can succeed.
And at the end of the day, it all comes down to execution. You can have the best game plan in the world, but if the players don't execute, it's all for nothing.
Absolutely. It's about minimizing mistakes, making the key blocks, catching the contested balls, and making smart decisions under pressure. It's about playing with discipline, focus, and a relentless desire to win.
It's a tall order, but the Bears have the talent to turn things around. They just need to find that winning formula.
It's a work in progress, but it's still early in the season. There's time to make adjustments and get back on track.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive into the Chicago Bears' offensive woes. We've covered a lot of ground, from the struggles of the offensive line to the inconsistencies in play calling and the need for improved execution.
It's been a great discussion, and hopefully we've shed some light on the challenges facing the Bears and some potential solutions they can explore.
It's been a pleasure breaking down this complex issue with you.
Likewise.
Goodbye. See you in the next video.